Hi everybody, today we're going to look at some old and new artwork. We're going to watch a couple of videos, and we have a very special guest. So I'll let Margaret take over and start the show.
From our environment team, you all know.
Did you bring candy this time?
Yeah, bro.
Did you? Yes!
I heard the candy wrappers.
We have candy.
I knew it.
Hello.
Welcome, Bacon.
Hello.
Bacon, I gotta tell you, I was watching, I was on Discord last night.
Uh-oh.
And I saw the picture that you posted of your previous band experience.
Yeah.
And I showed it to John, and both of us were just blown away. That was such an awesome...
I got fat and old.
I had no idea you were part of a band.
What's up with that?
I knew you could play instruments, but I didn't know you were part of a band. Thank you.
There you go.
Last time I said I probably shouldn't have had a Jolly Rancher, but...
Yeah, I'll hold it. I'll postpone my Jolly Rancher eating for later.
I'm still kind of sick, so... I'm coming down. I mean, I'm almost done, but that's where it's still kind of messed up, so...
Uh-oh.
Hello.
I was up at 4 this morning because
I
I had to take my puppy to the vet. She had vertigo. Riley had vertigo.
No, jeepers.
Which was actually the best thing it could have been because, she was not doing well, but she's doing better now.
Oh, good.
Yeah, and I have kitty problems too. It's not a good day for everybody.
What is going on with this?
I know. Let's talk a little. It's not a good day for our animals, I guess I should say. It's a good day for us in other ways. So let's talk a little bit. Well, I guess introduce yourself first.
Everybody knows who I am.
I know, but maybe some people don't. We have new people who hop on Twitch all the time.
Michael Bacon. I'm the environment dude.
Yay.
Or one of.
Oh yeah, I forgot to change your thing. I was gonna put environment dude.
And I guess it says lead environment, so
yeah.
I guess that's what I am.
Yeah. So what has your team been up to before we show off all the stuff that you got?
All this stuff. Actually, a lot of optimizations. Like we're doing that, polish, and stuff on APOC, and other stuff that I can't talk about.
This is true.
Yeah.
This is true. So.
Just like Mark was saying, some of the things we're working on we can't necessarily talk about. So it's
I know a lot of people want to see, MMO and Alpha 1 footage, but a lot of that we have to be very, and I said this before, but we have to be very careful when we show those things because they are indicative of, to a lot of people who don't follow the game, their first time perception of what our MMORPG is, they will look at that Alpha 1 and they will assume that's an end product. So as we're continuing work and preparing for Alpha 1, a lot of that is kept very close to the chest until we feel it's in a place that is presentable to everyone, not just our most hardcore followers and who want to see this stuff as soon as possible, but is something that can be presented to everyone and be indicative of where this project quality level is going to be at launch.
Yeah, and I think some of you saw at the end of the recent Dev Diaries, you were like, oh my gosh, these shots are gorgeous. Those shots are from in-game. Those are in-game shots. That is not, post-rendered video or anything like that. That is actually our amazing characters.
Yeah, I saw somebody make a comment on one of the YouTube videos, or I can't remember where, they were like, this is a cinematic rendering.
We've been trying to reply to everybody, letting them know.
Ray trace stuff, that's some really crazy stuff. Oh, sorry, did I spoil that?
We're playing around with some things and testing things out, so...
Nobody heard it.
That's just baking it.
Yeah.
That's really nothing. That's nothing.
We're definitely testing things out and trying to make our game look as gorgeous as possible. So I think that, like Steven said, our goal is to make sure that, what we put out and what you guys see and what you guys experience is going to be amazing and be gorgeous and really take MMOs to another level. So let's talk a little bit about what your team has been working on and go into these things. Okay. I don't know if you have...
No, we're on 3 fronts, right? Yeah. So we got MMO, and then we got the Castle Siege stuff, and destructibility stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited about, of course.
Yeah.
And
but you can't show yet.
I can't show it
I keep asking him every week. I'm like, how about now? Is it ready?
It's not there.
I know.
I mean,
it looks really cool. But
it is there. It's just not there for them.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
We're getting there. And then, of course, APOC. So, APOC is the next forward-facing thing.
I guess Battle Royale part of it is the other thing. Because Castle Siege is APOC as well.
Yeah.
I guess they all kind of go together.
But what I mean is that, it's the closest thing out kind of moving. So a lot of polish optimization and that kind of thing. So a lot of the under the hood stuff Yeah, we're going through
things that you guys don't really see, but you'll notice in performance.
Yeah, shaders, models, and just cleaning everything up and getting it to run as efficiently as we can.
Yeah. So you might have seen if you watched our last live stream that they were working on some really cool beach waves and things of that sort. Really working on the environment because obviously you're an environment artist, trying to make it gorgeous. And I think we wanted to show you
so I guess
the
we're doing part twos of things.
Yeah, part two. Yeah.
Well, I guess the cool thing about showing, are we seeing this now?
There it is.
The cool thing about seeing this now is like you guys get to see, this is like a week of iteration.
Yeah, this is the latest, and this is it's got like the sort of dual sort of waves coming in on top of each other now.
Yeah.
And
you can see them coming
quite
over
a bit
the
cleaned
rocks.
up, and the motion in it is quite a bit more accurate to like surf waves and things. So.
And the cool thing about working on, and I know we say this so many times, and probably those of you who do get this are annoyed at hearing this every time. But the cool thing about this level of polish and attention means that when the MMO is experienced by players, you're not seeing it in the bare bones stage. You're going to be seeing it with this level of polish and iteration because we were able to do so for the APOC modes.
Yeah, so
even
we're
more polished.
Yeah, so we're kind of in the micro detail stuff and kind of refining. That
And
kind of
refining
stuff.
the
And this is a
textures
shout out
too,
to Tay
right?
actually, because she's been asking about this quite a bit on Discord and stuff.
There you go. See, we're watching, we're listening. And then the next thing you have for us is, this is a continuation of more of the racial environment art, right?
If they put it in the right order, yes.
Okay. And then we also...
And they didn't.
They couldn't.
All right, so this is KROHN.
Yeah.
This is Empyrean, right?
This is Empyrean?
Yeah, it says Empyrean.
Oh, then this is the wrong video.
Uh-oh. Is it?
Yeah, it's totally the wrong video.
Ian did the wrong thing. We can blame Ian.
Yeah. So I guess we're rerunning.
This is the one I got.
Oh, is this the one?
We're doing reruns right now.
This is the one from last cycle.
The new one should be in the file.
Yeah, this is all from last time.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe check the folder again. Jeff can look in there. But yeah, so we do have some new ones, and then I think the next one coming up, I saw some coming in were from the back as well.
Oh,
right? The ones that are coming in now.
coming in
the
now.
end, yeah.
I was doing what you. Oh, Vec.
Yeah.
No, you can't talk about that.
Yeah, I can't talk. Why?
We're not putting those up now.
No, we're not putting those up now. But those are going to be the next ones that they're going to get to see.
Yeah, well
maybe if you're happy with them.
There's a huge backlog of content we haven't shown them.
That's true. There's a lot of stuff.
And maybe you'll leave Vec. I don't know. I mean,
they want to see them.
I noticed it was funny that they saw.
The Vec looks amazing though.
Yes, they do look very good.
It's got that I don't know, almost Egyptian style, but it also takes it into that scientific. I don't know. I love it. It looks so cool.
It's kind of Mayan.
Yeah, a little more Mesoamerican.
Kalar is the one that starts with Kalar is old.
That's the one that is.
What do you mean by old?
Oh, so old.
You know what? Yep, that was on me.
I win. I was like, I swear,
right.
I put the right one in the folder. I promise. We did set
Right.
everything up yesterday
There it
too,
is.
so there we go. Now we can see it. Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, now walk
All right,
us
so that's
through.
that's the Kalar stuff we've been working on.
I noticed that
This is like village stage stuff though.
Village stage. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Kalar Village.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we kind of went into.
I
more of
noticed
this kind of
that
direction.
in the video yesterday, and some people captured that. In the bottom right, it showed the date. Some of those images were from 2017, and that's because we don't show everything as soon as they come out. We have a lot of stuff
Yeah.
Do they have dates?
that hasn't since. Yeah, because it was a screen capture of some of the animation work. I think that was.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
So, we have a lot of assets and production that's been had over the past couple of years.
And I think when it comes to the Dev Diary stuff also,
Oh, really
we're
cool.
trying to show the work process, and so sometimes we go through our old footage to kind of grab stuff that we're like, oh, this kind of shows off what they're talking about at this moment. So keep that in mind too. Dev Diaries are a little bit different because it is the development process. And not everyone has recorded every single element of. I have since I started now trying to get people to, and I can look at Chris from here, make them record the things that they create. He's thumbs upping for me. But I mean, I guess walk us through what the design is for these architecturally, because they are different compared to the other races.
Yeah, this time this is got a very sort of English styling. I guess we were kind of where we wanted to push it more brick and mortar than what we had, like with the alien, or was it the other human race that we used for
Valen?
Yeah.
Valen.
Well, not Valen, the master, the parent race.
Of the humans?
Yeah.
The alien?
So these were kind of pushing more into a very medieval direction.
Yeah, they kind of have that very structural. They look like they're sturdy, right?
Yeah,
Almost.
we wanted very just harder edge, very much heavier component materials. And then this is where we left off last time with the Nakua dwarves.
Are these
So these are like the bigger structures for them.
the Metropolis?
Ooh.
Yeah.
So guys, the purpose of showing you guys these concepts is kind of to give you a staged look at as these assets come into production, you're going to be able to see and track them from concept to finished product, as you have with other structures that we've shown a year ago or a year plus ago. Our pipeline is established, and creating these assets is a really fun task for the environment team, and it's cool when you have such linear and readable concepts to work from.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I think we showed off a little bit of like our housing tool and our building tool and how our houses are created and things of that sort. And I think a lot of the concern that people had was like, oh, but what about like the more shapely buildings? And that is, that's what we're building, is all these little pieces that create that. And so you get these very interesting, intricate buildings, but they all fit the races that we have for each of the styles. And especially as you're building up from the wilderness to the village all the way up to a metropolis, we're going to need an extensive amount of buildings to make every single time that you build these up feel different.
Yeah, we're trying to go for like a real diverse style, per all the different races.
Right.
So,
One of the greatest challenges I think that the art teams, both from a character and environment standpoint, face is that we have such a goal in mind from a cultural diversity standpoint, with armors, with buildings, that we want these things to be very distinct from a cultural standpoint in the node and between the characters and races. And I don't know of any other MMORPG that has been created with such distinctiveness between the races before. It's a monumental task, and it's going to require a lot of production on our side, but we have a plan moving forward to accommodate that. So it's going to be really fun when you get in game and there is such a rich diversity.
And not only with art and the look of it, also the stories and the lore and the design behind how you experience them in the world with your quests and all of that, and your interactions with the NPCs and things of that sort. Those are going to really make it feel like they're different.
Yeah.
And of course, moving on to the next thing that you have some really cool stuff that you've been working on.
Anyway, well, these are like some of the polish shots that we were just kind of taking. Just like we had like some wonky doors.
Oh yeah, the new doors. They're really pretty.
So we, it's like a much more detailed, cooler door.
The water looks so pretty. I want a vacation here.
The great thing about these examples of environments is that you're looking at what is close to the visual quality we want to achieve in the open MMO, the open world of the MMORPG. These types of rolling landscapes with diverse biomes and structures and attention to detail. We want each place to kind of tell a story. What is happening in this area? What has happened here before? And it gives our art team, our environment team, an opportunity to kind of polish to the degree that we expect to see in the MMORPG. So like here, you're seeing these signs, these custom signs that you've kind of added character to these places. Yeah, that's why I was
just trying to add a character past it.
Right.
Thing. So it seemed like a lot of the structure stuff was a little static when it came to like, what is this thing? It's just kind of adding some
There's
focus.
Toast right there. That's where she lives. She lives there.
And the cool thing about these types of signs is that, these are player interfacing as well. Like, you own a business in a node, we're going to have an ability for you to customize the sign with some pre-selected images that can be determined.
Yeah.
Even guild logos that can be placed.
This is so great.
I love the art, the attention to art that's present in these stained glass representations are really cool. Who did this one?
This is so gorgeous.
No, this is Bacon. Bacon did that one. Pretty cool.
Yeah.
I love the stained glass. I was like, you have to put the stained glass in there. It's so
It's
pretty.
still work in progress.
I know, you're not. So this is the thing too, is when we do these things every month, all of the artists, we want them to be happy with what we're sharing. And I know that even Bacon, you're like, it's not finished yet, but it's gorgeous.
It's finished until it's shipped.
Right, exactly. And even then.
Exactly.
Spoken like a true developer.
No, but we're having a lot of fun, and I can't wait till we get with APOC and get that thing wrapped up. So, yay! Soon. Soon. Can I say that?
What?
You can say soon.
Can I say soon?
Oh, we can always say soon as long as there's a trademark.
It's APOC.
Yeah.
Soon, right?
Oh, soon trademark. Yeah.
Soon trademark. Okay.
All right. Thank you, Bacon, for your
Thank
time.
you.
We look forward to seeing what you guys got for us next
Thank you,
month.
Bacon.
Next up,
Thanks for the candy.
We
Of
have our
course.
character team. Yeah, thank you for the candy.
So what did you guys think about that artwork? It was awesome, right? I know. In the next installment of this Twitchcast series, we'll be talking to Chris Atkins, character artist. So if you like this show, be sure to subscribe. And thanks for watching.